Welcome to the Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
Hello, lovelies. Guess what? We're live. We are starting to record these shows on Friday, but we had a crash and burn with our internet. It went down yesterday, couldn't get it back up, did all the things. And we got our technician here today at 9:30 this morning and got us back up and running faster than ever. But it put me behind the 8 ball. I couldn't do anything yesterday. It was just, it's amazing how dependent we are on our internets, right? So I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad to see June and Catherine and Jackie, Vanessa, Helen, Martha. Thanks so much for showing up. And yes, we are live. Carol's here. Good. I've got your question for you, Carol. Jeanette, good to see you. Darla, you too. It's going to be a fun day. So I'm glad you're joining us live. And again, so many things to discuss and to talk about. First things first, though. Are you signed up for tomorrow morning? That's right. Before the show, we're going to have a show. We are. We're going to go over to Crowdcast and we're going to talk all about what it is to get a vibrant body. Vibrant body. Because, our bodies are naturally detoxing all the time. Did you know that? Hi, Terry. It's been a minute. I'm so glad to see Mimi and Joanne and June, Terry. Who else did I just say? Elaine and Butterfly, Doris, Jocelyn. Happy day. Good to see you. Mimi. We love you, Mimi, by the way. We love you. Diane, I'm so glad to see you. And I haven't had a chance to get into our Facebook group to see what's going on, so I don't know. All I know is this. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad you're here live as well. Melissa, I'm so glad you're here. Here's what we're going to do today. We're going to go through all these questions, but I want to make sure, first of all, number one, that you're signed up for the Vibrant Body Detox. This is going to be some new information. It's going to be some of the same stuff that I've talked about before and some of basically the same detox, but we've added some stuff to it. I've added some more information as me, love to go digging, got some great digging in there and found some great stuff. Jane's here. Yay. Jane's coming tomorrow. Look at Vanessa. She's so sweet. And I'm glad you're back, Vanessa. She sent us a little note saying, hey, I'm going to be gone. I was like, great. Glad to know that. Hi, Jerry, Pamela. Good to see you. So anyway, I want to tell you too, next week's theme. Did I even tell you what the link is yet for tomorrow? I did not. I keep going blah, 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 blah. I'm all over the place. You know that. I told you I'm ADD. You know what? Next, the link to get signed up, because what you need to for Crowdcast, is savingdinner.com/restore. Restore. We're going to be talking about just the concept of detoxification in your body, what happens naturally, and how we can help it along. And we're going to talk about the mechanisms that we need to be pushing in our bodies to make this even better. It's going to be fun. Hi, Lisa. Erica. I didn't see Erica come in, but hello. I'm glad you're here. And Darla. Did I say hi to Darla? I don't know. I probably missed it. So we are also, so that's for Saturday so that we can set that up for the week after. But on Monday, we are staying ADD horrible. Thank you. I got a little ADHD in there as well. So, I got all the things. But we're also starting our Get Strong Challenge. I'm really going to push you hard to do this, especially if this is something that you go, yeah, if it makes you just kind of retract a little bit and say, oh no, not that. And if you're a walker and you've been walking, you say, but yeah, I got my thing. I do my walking. I want you there in part of this. savingdinner.com/strong. Go watch the webinar, because there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to physical fitness. Did you know that? And I want you to look at it from the eyes of the new research and what's out there. Because what you think you know, you probably don't, or it's old, or it's been disproven. And you need to get into this new stuff because it really is helpful, especially for women of a certain age. Any woman who is postmenopausal needs this information, or even if you're menopausal, put the menopause in the equation, right? Can I just say that? Hi, Angie. So, yeah, Jane says strength training is fun. And Jane, let's just say Jane's postmenopausal. She understands this is what makes us strong. So, and that's why I usually have a standing date with Jenny, and we just record on 11 o'clock, and then I take off the rest of the day and go do something, or go on the boat, or go swimming, or whatever, walking with the dog. But today I said, I have a commitment to myself, and that is to get strong and be strong. And I am an athlete. That's part of my goals, and I write them out every day. I need to show up in the morning. I need to show up and get it done so that when I sit in this chair, I am talking to you as somebody who's accomplished her morning ritual, not just dragging it out, not taking it out through the day. Every once in a while that happens. But the important part is that I want to be done with it. I want to show up in my integrity and say to you, hey, I've done mine. Have you done yours? Okay? So that's where I am. I'm just letting you know this is part of my whole thing. Next week, we're going to be talking about connecting the dots, because this was a dot connector for me. Sometimes, aren't we like this? We go, this makes sense. This is what I need to do. This is what needs to happen. And then we just kind of get scattered. I mean, this is me anyway. I am like that. Come take a look at my desk. Everything just goes south. And then you're trying to play catch up, and you're doing it after dinner. I mean, at least you're doing it. But that's not ideal. And it's not what I want to do. And it doesn't put the day into proper perspective. I always feel like I'm dog paddling, trying to get to the side, So I'm just sharing that with you. And that's why next week we're going to be talking about connecting the dots. That is our theme for next week. So I do hope you show up for that. It's going to be fun. Jane says she hardly remembers menopause. It happened so long ago. Hey, it's a thing, remember that? Yes. Elaine says, me too. I know, right? You know what? So what? I'm going to tell you what, our vibrancy can happen at any age when we make a decision to do that. It's just about connecting all the dots. So make sure that you show up next week. It's going to be fun. I've got lots of questions here that I'm going to get to. And I'm also going to say to you, thank you so much for your patience in getting all of these things out. We still have, we have 2 things that are holding us back from sending out all of our packages. And, but those are shipped today, and we'll have them on Monday or Tuesday. And then everything else will be out. Like I said, our whole thing is we're going to do our jobs, and you blew us away. You blew us away on how big our gala went. So thank you for that. And thank you again for your patience. And if you have any questions about where is it and where are you with all of this and what have you, don't worry about it. But do send in a question to support@savingdinner.com, and we will help you out. Promise. That's how we roll. Hi, Suzanne and Juanita. Good to see you. Kathy's here. Lisa said she can't wait to get yours. I can't wait for everybody to get theirs. But let me tell you today, I signed a stack of things, of invoices saying thank you. And we're getting them out. They're going out. They're rolling out as fast as we possibly can. But again, we're a small batch manufacturer, and we have small batches. And even though we stocked up, boom, you surprised us. And thank you for that, by the way. It made our day. It made us feel really good. Our pop-up boutique is open, by the way. Have you seen it? Go to savingdinner.com/pop. Just got word that all of my gear is coming. I might be doing a little show and tell, but it's all our new full bloom stuff. And boy, is it so cute. So darling and cute. And we still have tickets available for our in-person full bloom as well as virtual. That's at savingdinner.com/bloom. Do me a favor. If you haven't gone to that page, will you just read it and see? I always say, sometimes I've seen this happens to me before, where I read something and I just get this little quickening of my heart. My spirit just kind of jumps, and I just went, oh, yes. And even if you're thinking, gosh, I can't do this, whatever. We just pray on it and look at it and read it again and see. because maybe it is for you. I can promise you this, the in-person event is going to be something spectacularly fabulous. And the people that are coming, you're going to love. And these are your people. So check it out. Would you just at savingdinner.com/bloom. That's what I want you to do all day long. So we have all of these questions. Did I miss anything? And by the way, if you want to get your question answered, you have to send in a request for that. Send in your question to support@savingdinner.com. Always in the subject line, though, say question for Leanne on Friday, because then it gets put into the queue and I'll ask the question. I'll get the question. I'll be able to answer it for you on the following Friday. Is that a deal or what? All right. So I'm happy to answer all of these. I want to make sure that you feel like I've got your back, because I do. I'm here for you. That's what we do. So that's what I forgot. Special of the week. Our special of the week is organic ACV. Do you see this, Amber, by the way? This is for Amber. I want Amber to start taking this all the time, every single meal. 2, organic ACV. You'll find out when I read the questions. Organic ACV. This is how you get your digestion on point, especially if you're pregnant. You really shouldn't be eating all those other things out there. This is how you get your digestion on point when you've got just, minor acid reflux or whatever. Believe it or not, even though it seems very acidic, it really does help. Number 2, it also helps to put prebiotic into your gut. Do you know what that does? That feeds all of the good guys down there. And you know what happens when you feed all the good guys down there? You get a more robust gut flora. That's huge. savingdinner.com/show. That's where we put all the information for our show supplements, for our supplement of the week. You buy 3, we're going to send you a 4th one absolutely free. All you have to do is put 3 in your cart. It's just 1, 2, 3. Put 3 in your cart, and then the 4th one will come absolutely free. Jackie, we want you to be there. But at least you will be there virtually. That's so good. Yeah, I do. I want you all there. We also have our tools at savingdinner.com/tools. These are our success tools. It's the journal. It's the new mindful mug. Isn't it so cute, by the way? I'm trying to get it so that it's not, there it is, not being, look, I have grit, not quit. That's my song right now. I don't know. There's no song like that as far as I know, but I'm going to make one up. And it's also where you're going to see the quote decks, which are eensy beensy. And by the way, our new ones are going to the printer. And when you see them, oh my goodness, I almost peed my pants. Can I just be honest with you? They're so pretty. Yes, they are. You're going to just love them. Love them. Also, be paying attention. When you go to order something, you're going to start seeing all of our new labeling. You're going to start seeing it. But then you're going to get this maybe with your order, and you're going to go, what the heck? And it said full bloom. Well, you know what? Can you put up with us? Well, this is going to go first, because this is what we have in stock. And as we need to, we are going to be printing and turning into full bloom. And by a couple of months, it'll all be full bloom. That's how we roll. All right. So how about some questions? Yes, you do. Look at Pamela just said she's got grit. Good for you, grit. You know what? We're celebrating your grit right now, Pamela. We are. All right, first question is from Lisa Plesha. Does the hot melt mix break your fast? Technically, no. Now, I say that with a big fat grain of salt, because here's the thing, what I found. Every once in a while, you're going to get somebody who is so particularly sensitive that anything with any kind of flavor will go, oh, hello. And maybe you're pre-diabetic or diabetic. And I find that happens, this sugar dysregulation happens with a lot of pre-diabetics who are, their glucose levels are a little bit higher than maybe normal, maybe just at 100, maybe a little over 100 on fasting glucose. And at that point, and the doctor, is going to say, oh, you're right there, right on the cusp, because we want to keep our fasting glucose levels under 100, preferably under 90. Even better. Mine right now are 85. I haven't tested in a long time. That's a good fasting glucose. And there's a lot of ways for you to, deal with that as far as prediabetes and what have you. But what I'm talking about right now is sugar dysregulation. And just sugar dysregulation is when you taste sweet, your body immediately reacts and says, oh, there must be sugar in our system. Boom, here comes the insulin. So the only way to know about that would be to test it, and to test it with a blood, whatever. But I found that, and for a while there, and so the ultimate clean fast then would be black coffee, black tea, just plain tea, herbal or otherwise, but nothing with any kind of sweet, and water, not even citrus in the water. That's the ultimate clean fast. But if you're going to get really down and, if you want to get down and dirty like that, if you need to, and you test it and you see that that's what you need to do, then fine. However, I will tell you this, that this keeps me fasting longer, because I'll do my workout fasted, which is just super effective for me. What that does is that gets the rest of the glucose out. The glycogen kind of gets into your muscles and what have you. So you need to deplete that. You get it in your liver store. That's the first place for it to go, but then it migrates and goes into other tissues. You really want to get that out? That's how you do it. Longer fasting, that's how you do it. So I broke my fast around 12:30 today. And we ate last night. Let's see, what is it that at 7, we had a late dinner. And by the way, it was absolutely just leftover salmon. I'm going to tell you how to do this, by the way. I know this is a complete sidebar, but you are going to thank me for it. So we had leftover salmon, which usually never happens, but we had a whole half a salmon, and we chopped up the leftover salmon cold, and I cut up 2 pieces of bacon and cooked that up and put those aside, chopped. I made this monstrous salad, and it had spinach, it had baby kale, it had little baby red peppers, which I absolutely love. I buy a bag of those. We go through them every week. And if you haven't seen Lincoln eating a bell pepper, you haven't lived. It's the cutest thing you've ever seen. It's on my personal Facebook page. And then he loves them. What can I tell you? A little green onion. Name that tune. Even some pine nuts and what have you. I make my vinaigrette. You know the recipe. And then I took this salmon, chop, and took it and sauteed it in the bacon grease. I know it sounds nasty, but it was really good. And then chopped the bacon, and then some cilantro over the whole top of that, and tossed the salad. Delicious. It's a good way to use it. I loved it. Hi, Patsy. Hi, Willow. I'm so glad you're here. So that was my little sidebar on, whatever. But so however long I went for breaking my fast, but I was able to break my fast simply by, and lengthening it out simply by the hot milk mix, because it immediately made me feel better, because I was thinking, I'm getting hungry, and I held back. So I broke it with a Target Trifecta smoothie. Feel good. And I'll probably wait till dinner. Yeah, 2 meals a day. That's all you need sometimes. I read a really good book called 2 Meals a Day, actually. Patsy, it was absolutely fantastic. And I will do this. We also we had a big turkey because the kids were here. So we was like, yeah, this is a good time to do this. We spatchcocked a gigantic turkey, marinated the living life out of that thing. Lots of lemon, lots of herbs and garlic and olive oil and whole bit. Turn it over in like 4 days. And then we grilled it, and it was spectacularly good. The next day, we added a green salsa to some of the leftovers and made turkey tacos. And we had the big romaine lettuce leaves and what have you. So really delicious. All things were quite delicious. But we still have leftover turkey. And guess what I'm going to do with that turkey? Chop some of that leftover turkey, and it's going to go into the bacon grease, just like I did that. Maybe a little bit of herbs, and boom, shakalaka, put it in the salad. You're done. Doesn't that sound good? Oh, that's Lisa. Can I tell you, that turkey was incredible. We do it with chickens all the time, but what is a turkey but a big chicken, right? We can handle that. Steph, I'm glad to see you. So anyway, I'm just giving you sidebars here. Sorry about that. So does hot milk break your fast? No, it does not. It helps extend your fast, really, unless you have an absolutely sugar dysregulation type of a metabolism, and you will know it because you'll have weight loss resistance. Okay, let's keep it real. All right, this is from Debbie. Can you use frozen or canned spinach for smoothie instead of fresh? Never canned, because that is so gross and icky. Sorry. And yes, you can use frozen. Just use organic, okay? Because one of the things with spinach is heavily sprayed. Organic spinach is so amazing. And I think that baby spinach in the tubs are just so super easy and so super fabulous. So the more you can use, greens are a type of detox. Greens detox. Adding cilantro, adding parsley, especially bring out the heavy metals in your body. They park themselves in your fat and in your muscle. And so we want to get them out, right? We want that, but we don't also want to do it. I will say, that I am absolutely, I love integrative physicians. I love naturopathic physicians. I love them all because they have a broader scope of the way that they look at things, especially medical doctors who have added in these other, mindsets, shall we say. But I don't at all, when somebody says, oh, we go to the doctor and they'll do a detox on you and get the heavy metals out of you, that is just not a good idea, unless you're working really closely one. Mimi, I think regular coffee is better for you than decaf. There's a lot of stuff going on with that. But I'm going to say, I'm going to address, you need like 1 or 2 cups of coffee a day. And then you need to be moving into other beverages. Get your hot milk mix on, do that. Okay, so we're going to use frozen spinach, Debbie, and make sure it's organic. All right. This is from Jocelyn. Does collagen powder or collagen protein powder break down and lose effectiveness in hot beverages such as coffee? No, it doesn't. It doesn't lose effectiveness. It just loses its ability to mix. Have you seen it? It just coagulates into this big lump. It's terrible. So what I want you to do instead, this is what I want you to do instead, is let your coffee cool, or if you want to have it as a mixed beverage, put it in the blender, and it'll work a whole heck of a lot better. I thought I heard once that it did, so stopping it in my morning coffee and, quite frankly, using it in my diet at all. Jocelyn, definitely just let it cool a little bit. So what you might want to do is pour yourself a cup of coffee and then go take a shower or something and give it 5 minutes or something just to cool down. It's the heat. It doesn't break it down. It doesn't ruin it. It just makes it so it's unmixable. Okay? Blenders, by the way, when you put that a little bit of collagen, like even a vanilla or chocolate, even an unflavored, it makes it kind of a coffee latte kind of a dealio. You'll like it. Yes. Okay. So where are we with all of this? This is from our Amber, and she said, is there anything you can recommend for heartburn? I'm eating Tums like M&Ms. Okay, well, first of all, Tums. You know what we do when we had Lincoln, we had a week of puppy training with this trainer, and in order to correct Lincoln, we have to do, their sensitivity is very high. We have to, I love doing the buzzer. So I'm to the Tums. Here's what you need. 2 apple cider vinegar before a meal with a half a glass of water, about 4 ounces of water. I would say 15, 20 minutes beforehand or so. After dinner, you need to go out and take a 10-minute walk to let everything just kind of fall down after dinner. The other thing that I would recommend is that cut whatever you're eating now, cut your meal in half. This is the only time that I ever recommend smaller meals. Half a smoothie, then have another half a smoothie later. Half your lunch, then a half a lunch later. You still need the calories up. You still need the fat. You still need all the other things that you need in order to support this pregnancy. But your body, you've got a baby pushing up everything. And I remember what that feels like. It's miserable. It's miserable. Sleep with a wedge, sleep with an extra pillow underneath you, even if it's a little uncomfortable, or I would suggest the wedge. You can buy those wedge pillows all the time at, off of Amazon. That would really help as well. But, and also practice really chewing. Cause I know you're a mama, and mamas are like, I got to get this done. I got to get this. I got this for work. I got this for the kids. I got to get some laundry done. And we're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Can't do it. So slow it down, slow it down. And when you slow it down, it's going to really help with the digestive enzymes in your mouth. Amylase is the big one, and that helps break down all those carbohydrates. And it's a big deal and makes a big, big difference. So I want you to start doing that. Secondarily, Make sure you're not drinking a whole lot of water during your meal, because that starts to dilute all those digestive enzymes. We have them in our mouths. We have them right here in our esophagus. And there's every time that little sphincter closes, digestive enzymes come out, and all the way down and right before your stomach and right after your stomach. It's really a fabulous process. Aren't we so fearfully and wonderfully made? Don't you love how that all works? But there's different stages. A little bit more, a little bit more, and a little bit more. But digestion starts in your mouth. So make sure you're taking smaller bites and chewing very thoroughly. Make it a game. Have the girls help you with that. It'd be really cute. And also it'd be really great to teach your girls how to not eat like truck drivers, because, we want to bring the manners out and show them how to cut with a knife and fork, and how to delicately take, and how big is your piece, and we're going to feed the baby and feed mama at the same time, but we want to make sure mama doesn't get heartburn. So all of this is going to make a big, huge difference. And you're going to feel better. You can bring the girls on board so they can, they can understand, and they'll learn how to eat a little more delicately too. I hope that helps. If not, you let me know. Slack me. Okay. She said she was eating Tums like M&Ms too, by the way. That hit home. All right. This is from Marianne. Leanne, do you take all your supplements when fasting for a few days? Are there specific supplements I should or should not be taking while fasting? I've been using hot melt mix and L-glutamine while fasting to break through a set point. Well, good for you, Marianne. By the way, let me just tell you a thing or two about, and I want to preface all this fasting business with this, big caveat. If you have or have ever had or still struggle with this, any kind of eating disorder, fasting is probably not for you. If you don't, and you understand, and you've educated yourself about what an extended fast does for your body, with the autophagy and the chemistry involved, and how it's going to really help with that saggy skin, and then adding the collagen in later is going to help you build tougher and more durable skin, all of that. There's a whole thing that goes with that. But I'm just going to let you know that a longer fast, as long as you feel good and you're not out there, physically working out and adding a bunch of crazy stuff to it, and just keeping yourself kind of low and calm and what have you, you'll be surprised at what you can do. Your body is extraordinarily resilient. And sometimes when we take a break from having to constantly digest, our bodies were like, okay, that doesn't mean, now what you'll hear is like, oh, if you do that, your body's going to start immediately digesting muscle. Not true. It goes to the easiest source first. The easiest source is glucose, and it's glycogen in your liver. That's first. Then it's glycogen in all of your muscles and organs and wherever else it's going. And then you know what it gets busy on? Your fat. Your fat is readily available, and it goes yum, 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 yum. And this is why some keto people get it all wrong, because they're constantly eating all the fat. Like 80% of their meal is fat. So your body never has an opportunity to go and feast on its own fat. That's one of our differentiators. This is one of the reasons we don't go so high and heavy into fat. Yes, it's keto-ish, but it's not completely keto, because I think that's just crazy town, especially for women of a certain age. Okay, so that's a big deal. What I want to say, so now that we've got that all out of the way, so what I want to say is the hot melt mix is fine. The L-glutamine is great. It's also going to be helping you, and you can actually do an L-glutamine hot melt mix drink. You can drink it all throughout the day if it makes you feel good. I would add maybe in some apple cider vinegar, because remember what you're doing at this time too is you're also helping to correct some gut imbalances, because that's also some correction that's going on. And so let's make sure that we're feeding our good guys, make sure that we're giving them what they need to keep doing the work. The interesting thing is when your gut flora is a little bit out of balance and you don't have anything going down in there really to speak of, it gives them a minute to kind of balance things out. I would definitely be taking a probiotic at night. That's when I take mine, by the way. I would take maybe some apple cider vinegar just whenever you feel like it. Either drink it or do the capsules, like we have here, and maybe just do one, maybe do another one another time, because you're there's not anything really down there. Hot milk, mix as much as you want during the day. You can have tea, you can have coffee. And the tea, be really judiciously aware that there's a lot of herbal teas out there that have kind of a sweetish, sweet-ish, not Swedish, not Swedish like Swedish pancakes, but sweet-ish type flavor. And that could trigger, a sugar dysregulation kind of a deal. You don't want that. So yes, I think that's excellent. And I want to hear what you're doing. I want to hear about your results. I want you to share that because that's really cool, Marianne. I like that you're doing that. That's really neat. It's one of the things that I really want to get back into. I got a little out of that and I want to go back into it simply because there is a lot of freedom when you don't have to be eating all the time. And also there's a lot of correction going on, including your hunger hormones, including just everything, your digestion. You can correct a lot of things just with a simple fast. It's really pretty interesting. Okay, this is from Rena. She said, "Hi, Leanne. Glad you're taking Fridays off." Yeah. Here are my questions. How can we measure our progress on bone growth? I read on WebMD that bone growth is slow and small, and the DEXA isn't a good way to measure progress because 1 year's growth would be equal to the margin of error. That's true. That's what I know, but I don't know of another way that they can measure it. I would wonder if there's a possibility of doing an ultrasound or a possibility of even doing a thermogram. I am big on thermograms as opposed to mammograms simply because they give you more detail. And even though, it might be a little bit controversial, for me, it was extraordinarily useful to see everything. And they can see, a quote unquote cancer starting a whole lot earlier in a thermogram. Now, I don't know. Can you do a thermogram with bones? I have no idea. I would check with an integrative physician to see what you can do. Meanwhile, we have a lot of ladies in our group with osteopenia, osteoporosis, and have possible bone issues. We have a lot of women in our group who are postmenopausal that I want them to have the mindset, just because you don't have a diagnosis doesn't mean you don't need to be on top of this. Okay? So here's what I know. Here's what I know. If you are exercising and building muscle, you are protecting the bone. Period. We need to be doing that, and it's good for your bone strength. You need to be taking collagen every single day. It's good for your bone strength. It's the matrix of the bone is what collagen is. You also need your minerals, calcium, magnesium, on a daily basis. I would even double up with your doctor's permission because ours is 2 capsules. I would do 2 in the morning. I would do 2 in the evening, personally. Vitamin D activates that calcium, magnesium. Getting out and getting a 10, 15, even a 20-minute walk in the sun without sunscreen so that you can get that vitamin. It's activated through your skin. You'll be fine. Now, if you live in a boiling hot climate, and it's like 110 at 10 a.m., you want to go as early as possible and you want to shorten that up because you're getting more sun exposure. The sun is not evil. Overexposure is, okay? But we need to start understanding that our skin that's how the vitamin D gets in. Oh, Vanessa, I know. Texas is super hard and super hot. Joanne says she needs to get back to fasting again. Well, I'll tell you what, Joanne, me too. I'm going to circle back to that, and we will get back to it. We have a phone. There's a phone app. I think it's Life Fasting, and we have the Hot Milk Queens in there. And maybe the Hot Milk Queens need to ride again. What do you think? Vanessa, Texas, you probably would get a 5-minute walk in the heat of the sun. But it does activate vitamin D. So that's my biggest thing. Start with body weight. Use our Get Strong, Be Strong guide. It's free. You can find it at savingdinner.com/strong. Go get it and do it using body weight. What do you think a push-up is? It's all using body weight. Tricep, same idea. You could do that on the stairs, just getting your triceps. I want everyone, every single woman that I have ever have the ability to touch or listen to me or whatever, please hear me. Upper body strength is absolutely crucial for us being able to get up off the floor should we, God forbid, fall. Lower body strength is what's going to keep our hips strong. It's what's going to keep our femurs strong. We want to be strong. Being strong connects us to all the other strong in us. Our willpower, if you want to call it that, our motivation, our confidence, everything. When you're strong in body, you can be strong in mind. You can be strong, and it's just amazing how that all just bubbles out and pours out of your body. Makes you feel like a new woman. Okay, yes, the app is Life, and it's the fasting app. That's the one. You'll see it's the Hot Milk Queens. Just ask to join the group. We're going to get onto it. I think Joanne just stirred the pot there. I'm going to do it. For a while, I was doing it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I would go full day on Tuesday, and I was a dirty fast. I would have hot milk mix and bone broth, and then on Wednesday, I would break my fast with a little gelled chia seeds, and then I would break it with a Target Trifecta smoothie or a little scrambled eggs. But I do know that 36, 42 hours. It seems really hard at first. It might seem hard, but I felt so energized and good about it. So I don't know. We might need to go. You want to go back to that, Vanessa? But Jocelyn's going pinkies up, so I'm thinking that that's something. I think we're going to get a group together to do it. Why not? What happens? Get one of Jason Fung's books, The Obesity Code, The Diabetes Code, and he goes really into the weeds about what fasting does and how it benefits your body and what it starts to do. And there was a woman on, oh goodness gracious, one of these Facebook groups that I belong to. I mean, she was almost 400 pounds, y'all. Almost 400 pounds. She lost half of her body weight in a year just doing these fasts on and off. And, it's not like she doesn't, and to quote her, she's like, well, she's getting her nutrients. Her body's eating. The autophagy means to eat yourself. Your body's feasting. And she was never hungry. Carol says, let's do it. And Carol, I have your question here too. Keep in mind what I'm going to say when I answer your question, because I hope I remember to bring that back. I want, if you're in and you want to do it, and I don't want anybody going in there and starting to, this is the thing that pushed everything back before. I had a woman come in and start shaming people for fasting and saying it's going to lead to an eating disorder. My granddaughter died from an eating disorder. And that's very sad and very awful that her granddaughter died from it. But that is not a blanket prescription for everybody because you fast. Like I said, the preamble and the preset and the disclaimer and everything else is if you have or have had or have a propensity toward any kind of eating disorder, fasting's just not for you. At least this kind that I'm talking about. I think everybody should go 12 hours between meals. You need to give your body a little bit of a thing. Okay, Lisa's in. Let's do it. We're going to do this. I'm going to do it next week. Yes, Lisa, thank you. Exactly. Amen. Fasting is biblical. And it's a spiritual thing. Let me just say though, fasting, there's a chemical thing going on inside. There's a biblical thing, and you can pony onto and connect onto this. This could be a time where you say, okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm fasting. And this is the time I'm going to spend more time in prayer. I'm going to really journal more. I'm going to get out my Bible. I'm going to boom. This is what I'm going to do. And we're going to dirty fast. You can clean fast or dirty fast. Dirty fast with bone broth, hot milk mix, coffee, etc. If you want to do a pure just water fast or whatever, you're not holier than thou. You're just doing it because this is what works for you. There's like this, it's so funny how people really want to get into this whole one-upsmanship BS everywhere. You see it all over the place and all over, whatever. But you know what? You want to do it? Let's do it. You can even start with a traditional dirty fast, which is, less than 500 calories a day, which we have a whole thing on. But it is so good for your body. I just can't. Read the books. Read the books. Know the books. Understand what fasting does. Become a student of your own body. And when you see what it does and you see how extending that out for just a little bit longer, thank you, darling. Yes, God does love us all. When we extend that all out, guess what? It just, the chemistry just kicks in. That's right. there's no room in this group for one Puma ship, one Upsum ship. I know what you're saying. Yes. Thanks, Lisa. You're right. She also says, Rena says, if we boil an egg and put salt in the water so the shell doesn't stick, does the salt get into the egg? No. How can we reverse gray hair? Oh, that's a long one. I've read that green leafies do this, and it's the reason Ann Wigmore's hair color reversed. Okay, your mileage may vary, but you know what? It's not just one thing. It's a whole bunch of other things that reverses it out. You know what? It is true that a shocking and stressful situation can just, boom, cause gray hair overnight. It's true. Stress is crazy. Stress does all kinds of things. So I know Anne, and I have tremendous respect for her. And yeah, lots of greens. Sure, lots of greens. I'm 63. I have some gray hair. I showed you my gray hair right here, right there. It's all, you see that? But it's also right there. I used to not have hair at all there. And this is all grown back because of beauty support and collagen. Yeah, but it's gray. No doubt. It is gray. So what? It's hair. It's there. But the rest of me, and my crown has a little bit of gray hair. So I'm 63 with hardly any gray hair. I don't know if it's genetic or not. My mom had gray hair, full gray hair by the time she was my age. So I don't know what the deal is, but I do know that I do practice what I preach. I do meditate every day. I do the calming and, types of exercises and breath exercises that I need to. I, work out every single day, take some days off, for rest as my body tells me. And I really work hard on getting a good night's sleep. It makes all the difference in the world. That slows down aging. It slows it down. So that's what we need to do. We need to do that. And we need to have an incredible amount of green vegetables in our lives. I mean, there's no such thing as too much. There really isn't. Carol says, my hair is growing back because of beauty support. Yay. Well, good, Carol. I'm proud of you. But isn't it amazing what happened? Beauty support really does support those, it's a beauty protein. That's what I call it. It's a beauty protein. All that collagen, making your own. Speaking of Carol, here's Carol's question. Is the chicken bone broth high in sodium? I got blood work done and my cholesterol that was high and blood sugar that was high came out excellent. You know why? Let me tell you why, Carol. Because of the exercise that you're doing and the food that you're eating. Because I know what she does. This is the fun part of being in my position, watching you do all your things. And she's checking in. She's showing us the walks. She's showing all of this stuff. Okay, so let's get you to this other place. But her blood pressure was high. Okay, so Carol, your focus right now is on hydration. Hydration. You drink your hot melt mix every single day. Now you might want to go get a salt substitute. It's potassium is what it is. That will help as well. Try that. Do your glass of hot melt mix and put in an eighth, just a pinch of potassium. That's going to help. Potassium and sodium, there's potassium sodium pump in every single one of our cells. And when we hydrate enough and correctly and always, it makes a big difference. Do you know that they found that 85% of people who have new salt, there you go, 85% of people who have high blood pressure are also dehydrated. I'm waiting for that to sink in. Can you imagine you're going to the doctor and your doctor's saying, hey, I want to put you on blood pressure medication for the rest of your life, and all that's going on is that you're dehydrated. We need to pop that thing up. Pop it up. I would especially like, now salt, a little bit of salt. What's evil is regular salt. What is good is the kind of salt that we need, okay? So I want you to hear me on all of this. No, when hot melt mix does not have potassium. And the reason that it doesn't have potassium is because for people who have diabetes also need to protect their kidneys. I want to know how much you're hydrating though, Carol. I really want to know how much you're hydrating, because I know that is it consistent? Is it consistent every single day? Are you hydrating according to your body weight, divide by 2, and that's how many ounces you're getting in every day? If it is, then I would add an extra 10 ounces to that just to see. Okay, and then do what I'm talking about. We need those electrolytes going in. Add a little pinch of the new salt. Lisa gave me the new salt, and then change up your salt. The thing, when doctors say they want you to cut back on salt, that always makes me crazy, because your heart doesn't operate without salt. It doesn't. It just shuts down. You are but more water. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad about that. That's excellent. Meditate, breath work. Let's keep bringing it down to center. You can bring your heart rate down. We can. We have the ability to do that. And all of that is going to make a big difference. I don't know what your sleeping is like, but your sleeping needs to get on point. All of this adds in and helps to bring things down to a normal situation. If you can't, then that's when you need to go with what the doctor says and get on a blood pressure medication. But for the most part, I think most people have the ability to be able to do this. Work with your doctor, though, obviously. I mean, you don't mess around with high blood pressure. That can happen too. Gwen had a doctor's appointment and she could have high blood pressure and low sodium. That can happen. I'm going to tell you though, when things are out of balance, our body acts in kind. Our body has a tendency to say, okay, well, this is a little out of whack. I'm going to go a little bit of this. It's called vasopressin. And what happens when you're dehydrated is your body, you're not getting enough, basically hydration into the blood. And so vasopressin gets depressed, gets added in, and that causes your blood pressure to go up. That's normally what happens. So the thing is, it's about the electrolytes and it's about the minerals. And that's why I like hot milk mix so much. And that's why I would say, unless you have some kind of a diabetic problem where we need to protect your kidneys, put a little pinch of that potassium in there. Okay. Sleep is really good. But I also would say upgrade your salt. So pink salt, pink Himalayan salt, upgrade. And the problem with salt, when doctors say you got to cut back on your salt, I think that they're saying, really what they should be saying is cut back on any packaged processed crap, because they always overdo it with salt. They overdo it with the crappy fat that they put in it. They overdo it with everything. So, you might be buying organic, this, that, and the other thing, but it's still, it doesn't matter. It's still junk food, right? And that's a big source of salt. We don't need to be getting it that way. Okay. All right, Carol, we found your problem. Confession. She said, I was also binge eating last week, eating chips, sardines, and skins with hot sauce. Ask to redo that blood test, okay? Let's do a clean week. Pinkies up, Carol, can I get you to pinky up with me? Let's get you into a clean week, a clean another week, a clean another week. Let's go 30 days of hot melt sprinting without the binge. Okay. You reflect what you've done. If you've just spent a whole week binge eating and tell your doctor, look, hey, I appreciate the medication idea. And aren't you so proud of me? My cholesterol's down. My blood sugar has just fixed itself. But I'm going to tell you what, I think what's behind this blood pressure thingy is that I had a bad week and I was full on binge. This is what I did. And it's all high salty stuff. So could we put this off? I have a whole plan together. I worked with my nutritionist. What do you think of this? What do you think, Carol? She's pinkies up. Yay. You know what? This is what I want for you. I want you to live vibrant lives. I want you to live vibrant lives without having to go to these kind of these things. We could take really good care of ourselves and then have a bad week and say, I'm stressed out, blah, blah, blah. Bring on the salsa and the chips and sardines. Salt isn't evil. Bad salt, though, is. pink salt. If you want to read a really good book, it's called The Salt Fix. Go read it. It's excellent. Dia Nicolati, I can't remember his name, but he's a friend on Facebook, and he's super smart, and he gets this whole idea of minerals. A lot of us have short on minerals. Our bones need it. Our heart needs it. Every single cell of our bodies need it. So that's what I have. Don't worry about your bone broth. Just don't add a whole heck of a lot of salt. Just cook it and then add a little pink salt as you need it. And you watch. Your daughters. But isn't that funny though? This is what we see. We see, oh my gosh, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. Oh, but here's the truth. I had a really bad week, and I was all about the chips and the salsa and the sardines. There it is. You're so welcome, Carol. And you know what? I love this. You had a light bulb moment. You connected your own dots. And this is what I talk about, taking absolute responsibility for yourself. And when we do this, and when we connect those dots, and when we put them all together, and we go and we start doing better with this and doing better with that, and taking sleep seriously, and taking our hydration seriously, taking our fitness seriously, and the food that we're putting in, and getting rid of the old habits. Because what do we do with the old? You know what Carol did? Carol did something that we've all done. This is an old thing. I got stressed out this week, and I fell back into this weirdo habit. That's not a normal thing, but she stepped into like a big pile of poop. She was all doing all great on that walk, and then she stepped into it. We all do it. So now that she's seen the big picture, and she saw the one area, and then happened to have the blood test, now we have an opportunity to clean the slate and to start over, and to say, okay, let's try this, and let's do this test again. And I cannot wait to hear what happens, Carol. I can't. Kendra says, do dehydration and insomnia have a relationship? They sure do. They sure do. You have to dehydrate earlier in the day. We lose hydration as we sleep. We lose hydration. Right when you get up, you should do about 10 ounces of water, because our bodies absolutely need it. We do just with our breath. We do. And yes, everything is connected. Everything is connected. When we start connecting those dots, aren't we going to do that next week? It's going to be amazing what happens. I love this. Darla, so sweet. Love this group. So authentic. And ladies connecting the dots help others connect the dots. It's so true. It's so true. So I'm going to leave you with this. I want you to start thinking in terms of connecting the dots. Next week, we're going to get into the weeds of what all of this looks like and how it can impact our lives. I really appreciate the fact, by the way, that you joined me on these little ventures together, and especially for FriYAY. Butterfly says, I stepped in it this weekend too. I'm right back on my path. Isn't it the truth? We all step in it on occasion. And all we have to do is just take off that shoe, wash it off, and continue to walk, right? You know why we do that? Anyone? Because we've got grit, not quit. You with me on that? Pinkies up. Peace be with you. I'll see you tomorrow for Soulful Saturday. We're going to tie the whole thing up and talking about strong, being strong. Can't wait. Peace be with you.
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, pinkies up.